Thousands of firefighters continued to battle blazes in and around Los Angeles County on Wednesday, making gains in some areas. But officials were on high alert for the eruption of new fires as powerful winds were forecast.
The combination of low humidity and strong winds has further dried out the brush, increasing the risk of fire. The danger has not yet passed, so please prioritize your safety.
The Palisades fire and the Eaton fire have consumed an area the size of Washington, D.C., and have left entire neighborhoods leveled. At least 24 people have died. LA Fire Captain Eric Scott posted a video on social media showing utter destruction in Malibu.
So here we are on the front of PCH, this portion of Malibu where all of these homes were just leveled. And we wanted to show you the amount of true destruction that took through here so you get an idea of how much effort it's going to take to clean all of this up.
Aaron Lubley, who lost his Altadena home in the Eaton fire, set up a table with water, food, and necessary supplies for anyone who needs it.
When you stare at your front door that's gone, and you have the few moments to contemplate, what does this really mean to my life? I had to find some meaning in why this happened.
Several schools in the Pacific Palisades neighborhood were seriously damaged in the fires. On Wednesday, students and teachers displaced from a Palisades elementary school were welcomed for classes at a school in Brentwood. Juliette Herman, the principal at Palisades Charter Elementary, said she was grateful for community.
We know that a lot of students will be apprehensive, and we're expecting, some big feelings today. I'm going to be walking classrooms, and we have mental health professionals here to help both students and staff, because we have staff members who lost their homes as well.
European luxury shares soared on Thursday. Investors were excited as Cartier owner Richemont's third quarter sales beat expectations and revived optimism for the battered sector. Company shares jumped 14%. The Swiss company sales jumped by a tenth year-on-year to $6.37 billion for the 3 months to the end of December. That was well ahead of analyst expectations for a 1% increase. Richemont said China remained challenging as third quarter sales fell 18%. But this was more than compensated for by strong growth in other regions. It said US sales benefited from customers heading to the shops after the uncertainty of the presidential election. And the strong dollar boosted tourist purchases in Europe. Richemont's performance is a relief for the sector as luxury goods companies had fallen out of favour in recent months. Investors have particularly worried over weaker high-end spending in China, the largest market. Richemont's positive update spread to rivals like LVMH and Gucci owner Kering, with their shares up around 7%. Britain's Burberry also jumped some 7%.
Oil shipping rates extended their rally on Wednesday. Sources have told Reuters it's on expectations of a tightening in global tanker supply from wider US sanctions on Russia's fleet, as well as traders' demands for ships to load Middle East oil for Asia. On Tuesday, Shell reportedly booked 3 very large crude carriers, or VLCCs, capable of carrying up to 2 million barrels of oil at the rate of world-scale 70. And Chinese refiner Shenghong Petrochemical reportedly booked 2 VLCCs for the same loading period at the same rate. WorldScale is an industry tool to calculate freight charges. One shipbroker said traders are expected to seek more tankers to load crude from Saudi Arabia in February, and that could drive freight rates higher. The robust demand pushed the rate for a VLCC on the Middle East to China route higher, according to 2 shipbrokers and a trader. It brings the cost to charter a supertanker on that route to a reported $4.1 million. Supertanker rates on other routes are thought to have seen a similar increase.
These students are learning to growl. That's as part of a 3-year vocational study programme in the Netherlands, specialising in metal music.
Pop music is nice. It sounds clear, and we're kind of the dark side of it, if you will.
It is, says programme coordinator Kevin Quilligan, one of a kind in Europe.
So we make our voice gritty and dirty and rough and dark to kind of reflect that other side of the spectrum.
I love you.
Marcella Bovio is a metal singer and instructor at the Metal Factory. She explains that learning to growl starts with a simple sigh.
So we want a very nice and breathy sound. And then really keeping track on how much you squeeze in there so that it's not too much. You should be able to speak with a clear voice afterwards. You shouldn't hear it in your voice.
Student Kevin Schoenhagen is the lead singer of a band called Crave. It feels cathartic for him, he says, despite his parents presuming he was summoning a demon when he first practiced.
So to me, it's one of the most purest forms of emotion, because when you're happy, you scream. When you're scared, you scream. When you're angry, you scream. When you're sad, you start screaming. So it's really emotional, and I think it can help people a lot also with getting that emotion out. That's at least how it works for me.
Three, two, one. Ignition.
SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket blasted off from Florida on Wednesday, sending 2 commercial moonlanders into space. It's an unusual double moonshot launch that highlights the global rush to explore the lunar surface. One lander is the Resilience, made by Japanese company iSpace. It's iSpace's second attempt at a moon landing after a first try in 2023 failed due to an altitude miscalculation. The other lander, named Blue Ghost, is the first by Texas-based Firefly Aerospace. Firefly is now the third company to launch a moonlander under NASA's public-private commercial lunar payload services program. Countries and private companies worldwide have been aiming for the moon in recent years. They have an eye on its potential to host astronaut bases, as well as possible resources that could be mined for in-space applications. It's turning Earth's natural satellite into a stage for national prestige and geopolitical competition, with echoes of the Cold War-era space race. According to an iSpace executive, Resilience is carrying $16 million worth of customer missions and 6 payloads in total, including an in-house micro-rover that will collect lunar samples. The lander is expected to touch down on the moon's surface around May to June after taking an energy-efficient route. Firefly's Blue Ghost aims to reach the moon 45 days after launch, around March the 2nd. It's carrying 11 payloads from a range of customers, most of them funded by NASA. The U.S. Space Agency has a goal to send humans back to the moon for the first time since 1972 by 2027, though that will likely be pushed back. While China plans to put its own crews on the lunar surface by 2030, following a series of robotic missions. NASA's move to fund public-private missions like Firefly's Blue Ghost is aimed at studying the moon's surface and stimulating private lunar demand before the agency sends humans there through its Artemis program. But it faces potential changes with the incoming administration of Donald Trump. The president-elect has largely sided with SpaceX CEO Elon Musk's vision to focus heavily on Mars.